Okay, let's just take a moment to really think about this. Imagine all that essential software you rely on every single day, whether it's for work, for your passion projects, or just, to keep your personal life organized and humming along. Now, picture a world where all of that software suddenly becomes not just affordable, but truly free and astonishingly unlimited. And I'm not talking about some watered-down, stripped-back freemium version. I mean full access, all the features, unlimited users, unlimited usage. It sounds almost too good to be true, doesn't it? Because we are all so incredibly accustomed to those persistent subscription fees, the SaaS costs that just seem to keep climbing month after month, year after year.
It absolutely does sound almost fantastical, and that's precisely why this idea is so profoundly radical. It challenges our most fundamental assumptions about the value of software in an economy where nearly every digital service is meticulously monetized, whether through subscriptions, tiered access, or pay-per-use models. This isn't just a slight adjustment. It's a concept that truly flips the traditional model on its head. And this fascinating, disruptive premise is exactly what sets the stage for our deep dive today into Linkspreed's TRIVE technology.
You're right, it's a complete rethink. Software has always been a line item, something you budget for, whether you're a multinational corporation or just, an individual managing a busy household. But Linkspreed is proposing something entirely different, something that could fundamentally alter our digital landscape. So today, we are diving deep into Linkspreed's TRIVE technology and their really bold, almost audacious claim of offering free unlimited SaaS. They also say this connects directly to their ambitious, sweeping vision for what they call Web4. To unpack all of this, to peel back the layers of this fascinating proposal, we've pulled from a stack of crucial sources. These include several YouTube transcripts directly from Linkspreed's own channels, which lay out their vision. Titles like Linkspreed's TRIVE Technology, powering the Web4 revolution with free unlimited SaaS. TRIVE Technology, new free SaaS every month. TRIVE Universe, free AI-powered SaaS ecosystem. And TRIVE Technology, free SaaS powered by ads. We've also dug into specific deep dives they offer for their product lines. Origin, free B2C SaaS solutions by TRIVE, and Vertex by TRIVE, free B2B SaaS solutions. And to give us that essential historical and industry context, we've included a foundational Wikipedia entry on software as a service.
Our mission here, for you, our discerning listener, is to really get under the hood of this extraordinarily bold claim. We want to understand, how can they possibly offer powerful, even enterprise-grade software for free without any limits? Who exactly is this free software for everyone or specific niches? Are there any hidden catches or explicit trade-offs we absolutely need to be aware of if we choose to adopt this model? And perhaps most critically, how does Linkspreed envision this entirely different software model fitting into their broader, even revolutionary vision for a truly decentralized internet, what they refer to as Web4.
That's our journey. So our deep dive today will first take us through their core philosophy, which, as you hinted, is quite a provocative statement in itself. Then we'll scrutinize the unique funding model they're proposing, the how behind this free promise. We'll explore how they're actually deploying this technology, including their specific offerings for both businesses and individuals. We absolutely need to dig into those crucial disclaimers. They mentioned the no but clause. And then finally, we'll tie it all back to this much bigger picture of building truly decentralized digital communities for the future. So let's unpack this and start right at the beginning with that radical philosophy, because it's truly the foundation of everything Linkspreed is trying to do. Okay, so Linkspreed's founder, Mark Houdina, makes a central and, frankly, quite an attention-grabbing statement that really sets the stage for everything they're doing. He says, and I'm quoting directly from their materials here, SaaS technology should cost nothing in our view. SaaS is a fundamental right. Yeah, they might. He goes on to emphasize that they are fighting for free SaaS by building super efficient tech specifically to give it away for free. When I first read that, my immediate thought was, wow, that's a truly audacious claim. It immediately makes you stop and question everything you thought you knew about software.
It does. And what's truly fascinating here isn't just the economic proposition, it's the profound ideological alignment. This isn't just presented as a shrewd business strategy. It's articulated as a foundational philosophical declaration. Framing access to software, especially the essential productivity and business tools that underpin so much of modern life, on the same level as a basic human right, is an incredibly powerful rhetorical move. It immediately elevates software from being a mere commercial product or convenience to something inherent to full participation and equity in our increasingly digital world.
Right. It changes the whole frame.
It reframes the entire conversation dramatically, suggesting that digital equity and universal access aren't just desirable, but paramount. It directly challenges the prevailing commercial models that dominate our digital lives, the subscription fees, the tiered pricing, the ever-present paywalls, by essentially arguing that these are not merely costs, but actively represent barriers to a fundamental right. So it raises a truly important question for us to consider. What does this particular model suggest about how the very value of software itself might be changing?
Potentially moving from a purely commercial commodity to an entitlement or maybe even like a public utility. It forces us to reconsider not just the pricing, but the very nature of digital tools and, crucially, who gets to access and leverage them. This isn't just about cost. It's about a redefinition of digital citizenship, where the user potentially trades traditional consumer protections for radical universal access. And that shifts the burden of trust in entirely new ways.
That's a profound perspective. If we're talking about software as a fundamental right, that's a complete paradigm shift from how most of us understand it. And to really appreciate how radical that statement is, it helps to understand the traditional landscape of software as a service, or SaaS as we generally know it today, because it's become so ingrained, hasn't it?
Precisely. Yeah, the Wikipedia source gives us a really clear and concise definition. It describes SaaS as a cloud computing service model. The provider delivers application software to clients while diligently managing all the required physical and software resources on the back end.
Right, they handle all the heavy lifting. Exactly. And it's typically accessed via a simple web application through your browser, which is a key part of its accessibility. One of its defining characteristics is that it separates the possession and ownership of software from its use. You don't own the software package or install it locally. You essentially rent access to it.
You have access, yeah.
And by 2023, SaaS had already become the main form of software application deployment, which really underscores just how ubiquitous and dominant this model has become in our digital lives. These providers often run their products on rented infrastructure as a service or platform as a service, PaaS systems. These are these massive, scalable computing environments.
Like AWS or Azure.
Exactly, the big cloud providers. This allows them to rapidly scale up or down to accommodate fluctuating user numbers, ensuring continuous availability and performance. The abstraction of virtually limitless computing resources is key to this model, and the economy of scale often helps drive down costs, typically through a multi-tenant architecture where underlying resources are shared efficiently among numerous clients, all while maintaining data isolation.
And we interact with SaaS all the time, probably without even consciously realizing it. Just think about the popular consumer SaaS products you might use every single day. Your Gmail account, collaborate on Google Docs, storing files in Dropbox, streaming movies on Netflix, or listening to music on Spotify. Those are all classic examples of SaaS that have become indispensable parts of our personal lives.
Ubiquitous.
Then on the enterprise side, for businesses, you have the really big players like Salesforce with their CRM software, SAP Cloud Platform, and Oracle Cloud ERP. These are the kinds of massive, complex systems that underpin global businesses, managing everything from customer relationships to supply chains and financial records. They are absolutely mission critical.
So when we connect this history and current dominance of SaaS to Linkspreed's TRIVE claim, the radical nature of their proposition becomes even more pronounced. Historically, SaaS has primarily relied on clear monetization strategies, subscription fees, freemium models with paid upgrades, or usage-based fees. While free ad-supported models do exist for consumer services, as you mentioned, Gmail is a prime example.
Yeah, we're used to that.
Right. But applying the concepts of unlimited and free to enterprise-level software like comprehensive ERP or robust CRM systems is a significant, almost unprecedented departure. It's one thing to watch a short ad before your free email or while streaming music. The implicit value exchange is broadly accepted. But to contemplate doing so for the complex mission-critical systems that manage a company's finances, human resources, sensitive customer data, or intricate supply chain logistics, that is a fundamentally different proposition entirely.
Totally different stakes.
What's truly fascinating here is how Linkspreed is taking a familiar concept like ad-supported content and pushing it into domains where we almost universally expect to pay substantial amounts, where reliability, security, and guaranteed performance are often quite literally tied to the monetary cost. This fundamental shift, moving from a direct payment model to an attention-based one for the most critical digital tools, is what we really need to scrutinize. The question isn't just how, but at what real cost and for whom.
That's the burning question that I imagine every listener is thinking right now. How on earth do you pay for developing, maintaining, securing, and running enterprise-level software, let alone a vast array of individual tools, without charging users for it?
It sounds like the ultimate magic trick if they can actually pull it off sustainably. This is where the rubber meets the road, isn't it?
It absolutely is, and Linkspreed provides a very clear, direct, and straightforward answer to that, as explicitly stated in all of their source materials. TRIVE Technology is funded entirely by advertising. The model they outline is, at its surface, remarkably simple. Users watch or interact with some short ads, and in return they get full access, free, unlimited cloud-based software.
Just like that.
It's designed to be a frictionless three-step process. You pick your desired tool, you interact with a short advertisement, and then you get unlimited access to the full-featured software. No credit card required, no subscriptions, no tiered pricing. Their slogan for this is quite catchy. Something like, advertising instead of money, scalability instead of high costs. It sounds almost like a manifesto. The core theory behind it is that the money generated from advertising from your attention covers everything.
Everything.
Really?
That's the claim. This includes the intense upfront development costs of the software, the ongoing hosting infrastructure, the massive global scaling capabilities required to support potentially millions of users across diverse applications, and all the behind-the-scenes maintenance. This, in turn, allows them to offer the full product with all its features and unlimited usage without any price tag that typically goes up with more users or more features. It's basically the same deal you make when you watch YouTube or use a free streaming service or read an online news article. You tolerate a certain level of advertising, and in exchange, you get the content or service for free.
Okay, I get the analogy.
But here, they're applying it to a completely different world of software, ranging from personal productivity tools all the way to heavy-duty enterprise resource planning systems that manage core business operations. So in essence, what's really happening here is that you're paying with your attention and your engagement with advertisements, not with your hard-earned money. A few seconds or clicks of interacting with a commercial takes the place of that monthly credit card charge, and that's the core bargain on the table.
However, this is where we have to delve deeper beyond the slogan. Funding complex, mission-critical, business-critical software like a full ERP system or even a robust CRM, solely with ads. Well, it immediately raises a multitude of profound questions and challenges, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
The sources state the model clearly, but they don't really dig into the potential user experience issues, the practical implementation challenges, or the economic viability for enterprise-grade solutions. For instance, how would a company's IT department or compliance team react to ads appearing within their core business applications? That feels like a non-starter for many. Yeah, I can picture the IT security folks having a field day with that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How do you effectively deal with ad blockers, which are often standard, even mandated in professional company settings to improve productivity and security? What about the potential for significant workflow disruption if ads were to pop up, say, while an accountant is trying to run payroll?
Oof, yeah. Or managing critical inventory.
Or a supply chain manager is managing critical inventory, or a customer support agent is in the middle of a real-time sensitive customer interaction. The technical and usability challenges of integrating ads into complex business software smoothly without driving users to distraction, hindering critical workflows, or even causing security concerns would be immense.
Immense is right.
Such interruptions or potential vulnerabilities could severely impact productivity, data integrity, and critically, trust in a business environment where continuity, security, and focused operations are paramount. Imagine a sensitive client meeting disrupted by an irrelevant banner ad within a CRM, or a financial report altered because an ad injection caused a momentary glitch.
Nightmare fuel for a business owner.
And while the value of an ad click in a B2B context is typically much higher than a consumer ad, the tolerance for disruption is also dramatically lower.
That's a really crucial point. While it might sound incredibly simple on paper, ads pay for software actually putting that into practice. Making ads an integrated yet minimally disruptive part of incredibly complex and diverse business software without completely irritating your users, or worse, causing operational nightmares. That feels like a monumental challenge. It's not just a technical hurdle, it's a profound user experience and business continuity challenge. And what about the economic sustainability? Is ad money truly enough to cover everything for these kinds of sophisticated tools?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Or maybe the $0 question in this case. You've hit on the core economic viability question. If we connect this to the bigger picture, the technical scalability of SaaS is, as the Wikipedia source details, incredibly well established. SaaS products typically run on rented IaaS or PaaS systems from cloud providers like AWS or Azure.
Right, the backbone.
This enables them to accommodate rapid increases in usage and provide instant and continuous availability globally. Multi-tenant architectures are common, efficiently sharing resources among numerous clients, and software updates can be rolled out almost instantaneously to everyone. These are all robust technical enablers for massive scale.
So the tech exists to scale it.
Yes, but as you rightly point out, the revenue model for that technical scalability usually involves direct payments from users. Subscriptions, freemium upgrades, usage-based fees. This ad model, particularly for enterprise-grade tools, is a significant uncharted pivot. It leverages existing technical scalability, but introduces a novel and potentially disruptive funding mechanism that needs to be rigorously proven for these specific application types.
Those are the big if.
It's a huge if. The fundamental assumption here is that the ad revenue will be sufficient, consistent, and resilient enough to cover all the operational costs, which, for enterprise-level software, can be astronomical, especially given the high expectations for continuous service, data security, and compliance. Even if Linkspreed is explicitly disclaiming liability in certain areas, which we'll get to.
Right, that disclaimer looms large.
This model effectively asks businesses and individuals to trade their privacy and attention for monetary savings, but it's a very different equation when mission-critical operations are involved compared to casual content consumption. The insight here is that the free aspect forces a complete reevaluation of not just how software is funded, but how its operational costs are fundamentally structured and managed.
Okay, so we understand how they're claiming to fund it with ads, facing some serious questions. But who exactly is this free, ad-funded, unlimited SaaS actually for? The sources clarify that TRIVE Technology isn't just one big, undifferentiated bucket of software. They've smartly split it into two main streams, each meticulously designed and targeted for different kinds of users and needs.
That's absolutely right. First up, there's Vertex, which is specifically aimed at businesses, the B2B or business-to-business enterprise side of things. It's where the most ambitious claims around free, mission-critical software truly reside.
Yes, precisely. Vertex is designed for companies needing workspace SaaS to power their operations. And the sheer breadth of what they're offering or planning here is truly impressive, spanning core business functions. We're talking about everything from comprehensive ERP, enterprise resource planning.
The big one.
Yeah. To CRM, customer relationship management, to core accounting functionalities, and even sophisticated supply chain management. The real heavy hitters that businesses rely on to function. They get quite specific with our upcoming platforms. For example, Vertex Dash is described as an all-in-one suite to kickstart and manage your growing business operations.
Sounds like a central hub.
Exactly. There's also Vertex Social Media, aiming to be a free social media manager for unlimited accounts, and Vertex Support, designed to build a free SaaS-based help desk. For human resources, there's Vertex HR, an integrated HRM and payroll solution. They even have Vertex Advocate for managing cases, clients, and documents specifically for legal practices, and Vertex Cart for building online stores with multi-vendor capabilities. This is a very ambitious scope.
Wow, free ERP, free CRM, free HR management, and even e-commerce platforms, all with unlimited users and unlimited seats. I mean, that could be absolutely transformative for a huge segment of the market. Think about startups who are constantly cash-strapped, small businesses struggling with escalating software costs.
Or even mid-sized companies stuck on old tech.
Exactly. Or maybe even mid-sized companies who just can't afford the big traditional systems that often come with incredibly high licensing and subscription fees, or are stuck with old, outdated software that cripples their agility. This model could dramatically lower the barrier to entry for serious operational tools, allowing these businesses to access professional-grade software that was previously out of reach, helping them compete more effectively and scale their operations. It could empower a whole new generation of entrepreneurs.
Huge potential, definitely.
It certainly has that profound potential. However, this is where a critical practical concern immediately arises, a point that isn't fully addressed in the sources. Do the sources say anything about the implementation or the ongoing hands-on support with this free model? Because enterprise systems...
We're not exactly plug and play, are they? Yep.
Rarely. They often require significant initial configuration, custom integration with existing legacy systems, migration of data, and extensive user training. The sources we looked at don't really detail comprehensive implementation support for these free tiers, and that silence kind of strongly suggests that businesses might be largely on their own for setup, configuration, and ongoing troubleshooting.
So DIY ERP implementation. Good luck with that.
Well, it's a pretty standard trade-off. With many free or open source models, you gain significant cost savings, but you often sacrifice personalized, dedicated support or extensive hand-holding that comes with a premium price tag. For a small business, imagine trying to implement Vertex books for critical accounting or Vertex tasks for complex project management without any dedicated expert support or structured training.
Yeah, that requires serious internal skill or time.
It would require a significant amount of internal expertise, a substantial time investment, or a willingness to learn through extensive trial and error, which isn't always feasible or desirable when your core business operations are on the line. The insight here is that while the monetary cost is zero, the cost in terms of internal resources and potential operational friction could be significant, redefining what affordable truly means.
That makes perfect sense. The implicit cost then shifts from dollars to time and internal expertise. Okay, so the second branch, that is Origin. And Origin sounds like it's more geared towards individuals, developers, freelancers, maybe even creative pursuits or entertainment, rather than formal businesses.
Correct. Origin is the B2C, business-to-consumer side of TRIVE, providing that same free and unlimited SaaS technology, but for a different audience. So if you need personal productivity tools, a wide variety of developer utilities, or even tools for content creation and online presence management, Origin is meant to offer those without you paying directly. It's all running on that same underlying ad-funded engine designed for individual empowerment.
And presumably a bit simpler to use than the Vertex stuff.
Generally, yes. B2C tools tend to be more user-friendly out of the box. And similar to Vertex, Origin also offers a diverse and rapidly growing ecosystem of solutions. For example, Origin BioLinks lets you create customizable bio pages for social media, shorten URLs, and generate QR codes really useful for creators and influencers.
It's like a Linktree alternative, basically.
Exactly. Origin Analytics provides detailed insights into website performance. There's Origin Pop-up for website owners looking to capture leads, and Origin SEO with over 40 fast SEO tests to improve website performance. Looking ahead, they plan tools like Origin Notify for web push notifications, Origin Boost for social proof and marketing tools, and Origin Send for privacy-focused file transfers.
Lots of marketing and web tools.
Yes, and also Origin Pulse for website uptime monitoring, Origin QR for dynamic and static QR codes, and Origin Card for digital business cards. Plus, Origin Menu for digital QR code menus, even with optional e-commerce capabilities for restaurants or cafes. And for developers and general users, there's Origin Toolbox, offering a massive collection of over 425 web tools for various utilities.
425.
And Origin AI Studio for content creation, chatbots, image generation, and speech-to-text.
So they're really going after both core business functions, potentially disruptive to the enterprise software market, and a vast array of individual or developer use cases. Everything from SEO to AI-powered content creation, all under this one single free ad-supported umbrella. It's an incredibly broad and ambitious goal.
It really is, trying to democratize access to all sorts of software across the board.
Imagine a freelancer using Origin BioLinks to manage all their online presence links for free, or a small blogger using Origin SEO to optimize their content without paying monthly fees. Or, as you mentioned, a developer getting access to hundreds of essential web tools through Origin Toolbox without any subscription costs. It really lowers the barrier for anyone to establish a robust digital footprint or enhance their productivity.
It certainly does, and the focus on accessibility is a central pillar of their philosophy. Now, while the big headline is free and unlimited, the sources are careful to include something they prominently call the no-but clause.
Yes, the no-but.
This is a crucial piece of information that truly defines the nature of this offering and needs to be fully understood by any potential user.
That's an important bit of transparency, isn't it? They're really open about it, which is commendable. They literally frame it on their website with this phrase, free, no but, suggesting they want to be upfront about the parameters. They're not burying this stuff in a 50-page legal document that nobody reads.
Yeah.
They're putting it front and center in their communication.
Indeed. The core of this clause, which you find prominently displayed, is that Linkspreed UG assumes no liability regarding uptime, data storage, availability, etc., for free software provided by TRIVE Technology.
No liability. Okay, that's pretty stark.
It is. Users are explicitly directed to review the terms and conditions for all the specifics. This is a profoundly significant detail, and it's arguably the primary trade-off that users must accept in exchange for zero monetary cost. It fundamentally redefines the contract between the provider and the user.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, you get the full software features, unlimited users, unlimited usage, and that's fantastic for the price point of zero. But the critical but is that you can't expect the same ironclad guarantees about it always being available.
Right. No uptime guarantees.
Or your data always being securely backed up and retrievable.
No data storage guarantees.
Yeah. Or any kind of formal service level agreement, SLA, like you'd typically get with paid enterprise software or even many paid prosumer tools. It really shifts the expectation, putting a significant burden of risk onto the user. It's free, yes, but it comes with, well, inherent risks around reliability, data safety, and ongoing support. What does that mean for, say, a business using this for their accounting?
Exactly. That's the core trade-off right there. You save money, but you potentially lose fundamental guarantees on reliability, ongoing critical support, and most importantly, data integrity and availability. This stands in stark contrast to expectations from traditional SaaS. As the Wikipedia source points out, traditional SaaS providers are responsible for software updates, including security patches, and for protecting the customer's data.
That's the standard expectation.
Moreover, the expectation for continuous service is so high that outages in SaaS software are often reported in the news for paid services, implying an even greater and potentially unmitigated risk for free tiers where liability is explicitly disclaimed.
So if something goes wrong, you're basically on your own.
That appears to be the essence of it. This means if Linkspreed servers go down, or if critical business data is lost, or if a security vulnerability isn't patched immediately, there's no recourse or guaranteed recovery for the free user. For a business using Vertex books for their accounting, this could mean losing vital financial records. Catastrophic. For a company using Vertex CRM, it could mean customer data becoming inaccessible during a peak sales period, resulting in lost revenue and reputational damage.
The risks are enormous for businesses.
The lack of an SLA, the explicit disclaimer of liability for data storage and uptime, means that operational continuity and data safety falls squarely on the user's shoulders.
That's a huge consideration, almost a deal breaker for certain types of operations. What does this truly mean if you're a small business relying on Vertex ERP to manage your core financial operations, your human resources, or your supply chain, for which data loss or downtime could be catastrophic? Or, even on the individual side, if you're managing deeply personal or sensitive data with an origin app. The convenience and cost savings are undeniably immense, incredibly attractive. But the trade-off in terms of data security, data availability, and the complete absence of service guarantees is equally significant, if not more so. It forces a very different kind of risk assessment.
Indeed. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it suggests the emergence of a new kind of digital contract, maybe even a social contract, where the user consciously accepts a different and potentially much higher level of operational risk in exchange for zero monetary cost.
A new social contract for software.
Interesting. This fundamentally redefines the relationship between software provider and user, significantly shifting some critical responsibilities traditionally held by the provider directly onto the user. This raises a truly important question for society. How will users, both individuals and businesses, adapt their trust in software when these critical guarantees of reliability, data security, and continuous uptime are explicitly absent?
Will the free just be too tempting to resist?
Will the powerful lure of free ultimately outweigh the inherent tangible risks for most, or will we see a new stratification of users based on their tolerance for uncertainty and their capacity to manage these risks themselves in their digital tools? It really challenges our default assumptions about the unspoken agreements that underpin modern digital services. The real insight here is that the no but clause isn't just legal fine print. It's the crucible in which a new, more self-reliant, and potentially more precarious form of digital engagement is forged. #Tech 3.3. The role of AI.
Now, separate from the ad-funded model, we've also heard that TRIVE Technology is powered by AI as part of the Linkspreed Web4 ecosystem, building the future of decentralized AI-powered software. So beyond simply replacing money with ads, there's this critical AI component as an underlying engine. That's a huge claim in itself.
Yes, the sources explicitly mention that TRIVE is powered by AI, and that Linkspreed is dedicated to building the future of decentralized AI-powered software. This positions AI not merely as an add-on feature, but as a core foundational component of their technological infrastructure. For instance, on the Origin platform, they even have an AI suggestion feature where you can describe your personal needs, and their AI will recommend suitable Origin platforms.
Okay, so like a smart assistant to find the right tool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Similarly, for Vertex, there's a Vertex AI that can suggest solutions based on specific B2B needs. This clearly suggests AI is integrated into the user experience for discovery and recommendation.
But the materials, while mentioning AI as part of the engine, don't really specify how it's applied within TRIVE beyond those suggestion and recommendation features. It's a bit of a black box, isn't it?
It is somewhat, yeah.
We know AI is in the mix, but not exactly how it helps make the free and unlimited part possible, or how it fundamentally contributes to the broader ecosystem's efficiency and cost reduction, which is absolutely critical for an ad-funded model to even function. Right? Give me an example.
Yep.
How might AI specifically make an ERP or a CRM free in a way that traditional technology couldn't?
That's a crucial distinction, and you're right, the specifics aren't really detailed in what we have. However, we can make some highly informed speculation on potential, even necessary applications, especially given Linkspreed's slogan of scalability instead of high costs. The true insight here is that AI isn't just a feature, it's likely the only way to make free and unlimited economically viable at this scale.
The only way. That's a strong statement.
Well, think of it this way. AI might be dynamically shifting server capacity and computing resources in real time, predicting peak usage patterns for all these diverse applications, and reallocating resources to minimize idle time and maximize efficiency across their multi-tenant architecture. This is far more sophisticated than traditional human-managed cloud operations.
So hyper-efficient resource management.
Precisely. It could be involved in intelligently optimizing ad delivery to minimize user disruption while maximizing revenue yield, perhaps by learning which ad types and placements are least intrusive in a business context.
Trying to solve that disruption problem we talked about.
Potentially, yes. Or by ensuring ads are highly relevant, thereby increasing their value. AI could also be automating aspects of software maintenance, detecting and even auto-debugging minor issues before they become major outages, significantly reducing human labor costs typically associated with supporting such a vast suite of tools.
Automated maintenance and debugging. That would save a lot.
Furthermore, with their vision for Web4, AI could potentially assist in the creation and maintenance of new decentralized software components within the ecosystem, further driving down development costs. So it's not just about a recommendation engine, it's likely about an AI-driven, hyper-efficient backend that manages the entire economic and operational equation, making ad revenue stretch further than traditional human-managed operations ever could.
Okay, that makes more sense. The AI isn't just user-facing, it's fundamental to the whole business model's viability.
This raises an important question. How does AI help make the free and unlimited part possible, not just as a feature for users, but as a foundational technology enabling their entire economic model and ensuring its sustainability? Without this level of AI-driven efficiency and automation, the ad revenue model would almost certainly struggle to cover the substantial operational costs for such a wide array of complex software.
That's a much clearer picture of AI's potential, moving it from a buzzword to a critical enabler. Now, let's zoom out even further, because this isn't just about free software, as revolutionary as that sounds on its own. This whole free SaaS model, powered by TRIVE and bolstered by AI, is actually just one crucial piece of a much, much more ambitious, almost utopian plan for the future of the internet itself, Linkspreed's grand vision for what they call Web4.
Exactly. This is where the broader philosophical ambition comes into full view and the pieces truly start to connect. Linkspreed is a significant vocal advocate for Web4. They describe it as this decentralized internet where users aren't just consumers, but active participants who actually build, own, and control their own social networks and their own online communities.
So taking back control from the big platforms.
That's the core idea. The Web4 concept, as they articulate it, is fundamentally about empowering individuals and groups representing a direct ideological response to the perceived centralization and corporate control of the current internet, which is often referred to as Web 2. In Web 2, a handful of large platforms hold immense power over user data, digital interactions, and even our discourse.
We all feel that, yeah.
Linkspreed's vision for Web4 is about shifting that power dynamic dramatically. It's about you, me, and our communities being able to build, own, and actually control our own online spaces and social networks, free from the dictates and often opaque algorithms of giant tech companies. It's a move towards user sovereignty, data ownership, and community-driven digital environments, aiming to solve the problems of privacy, censorship, and monopolistic control that plague our current digital experience.
So if Web 4 is this brave new decentralized internet, how exactly does TRIVE Technology, with its free, ad-funded software, connect to this much bigger vision? It's presented as this absolutely essential complementary piece to help make that lofty vision actually happen, right? It's the practical bridge to the future.
Precisely. TRIVE's role is envisioned as nothing less than the foundational toolbox, the universal infrastructure. It's meant to be the free, accessible infrastructure that lets these new Web4 communities get off the ground quickly and without prohibitive cost barriers.
The picks and shovels for the Web4 gold rush, but free.
Kind of, yeah. The idea is that if you're trying to build a truly decentralized online community, perhaps a new kind of social network, a collaborative digital workspace, or even a community on Marketplace, the last thing you want is for the very tools you need to build and sustain it to be prohibitively expensive or, ironically, controlled by another central authority. TRIVE is designed to circumvent that critical roadblock by providing already integrated, flexible, and crucially free software layers that Web4 builders can simply plug into.
Okay, so it lowers the barrier significantly.
Dramatically. Imagine for a moment a group of artists wanting to build their own decentralized platform to sell art, free from the high fees of existing marketplaces. Instead of having to figure out how to pay for and integrate various tools for secure communication or managing content or tracking member activity or even complex operational stuff like shared accounting or project management for their community.
All that back-end stuff that costs a fortune.
Exactly. TRIVE could hypothetically provide all that already integrated without the crushing cost barrier. This would dramatically lower the barrier to entry, both technically and financially, for any community or group trying to build sophisticated, self-run digital spaces away from the big, established, and often exploitative platforms. It takes away the immense overhead, the significant upfront capital expenditure, and the relentless ongoing operational costs that would normally kill an innovative Web4 idea like this before it even starts.
So the focus shifts to building the community itself.
The insight here is profound. By making the tools free, Linkspreed aims to democratize the creation of Web4 itself.
That's a powerful shift.
Yeah.
So effectively, communities could focus more on the actual community part, the shared purpose, the content, the interactions, the unique culture they want to build, rather than getting bogged down in software expenses and infrastructure headaches. That really seems to be the core proposition. By making essential software infrastructure freely available, the goal is to fundamentally empower people, and especially these envisioned Web4 communities, to truly participate in building and running this decentralized future, rather than just being passive users. It democratizes the very act of digital creation.
What's truly fascinating here is the deep ideological alignment between the software as a fundamental right philosophy and the Web4 vision. If software is indeed a fundamental right, then making it free is presented as a non-negotiable prerequisite for a truly decentralized, equitable, and accessible Web4.
The two ideas are deeply intertwined.
They are. This approach explicitly aims to liberate digital community building from the economic gatekeepers of the past, allowing anyone, regardless of their financial resources or technical prowess, to contribute to and actively shape the Internet's future. It's an ambitious attempt to level the digital playing field, making the basic tools for digital creation, collaboration, and organization universally available. However, this also raises the critical question of whether this free model, reliant on advertising, truly delivers on the promise of user sovereignty and freedom from corporate control.
Right, are you just swapping one master for another?
Or simply exchanging one form of gatekeeping for another, the attention economy gatekeeper.
That's a crucial nuance. If the basic tools you need to build an online presence or a business or a community are just freely available, it dramatically broadens who gets to build things online and what they can create. This is potentially a tectonic shift, not just in how we pay for software, but maybe in our entire relationship with the digital tools we depend on. And critically, who truly holds the power in those relationships moving forward? It could lead to a digital renaissance, or perhaps a new set of challenges we haven't even fully anticipated. Hashtag outro. Okay, let's bring it all together. We've taken a deep dive into Linkspreed's TRIVE technology and the really bold, almost philosophical claim of offering free, unlimited SaaS for everyone. This entire model is deeply rooted in the belief that software should be a fundamental right, not just a perk or a product you have to budget for.
A really core belief for them.
We've explored how they plan to deliver this. With Vertex, a comprehensive suite of free enterprise-level tools designed for businesses, and Origin, a rapidly growing ecosystem of free personal productivity and developer tools for individuals and creators. The not-so-secret sauce, the core mechanism, is that it's all funded entirely by advertising, effectively replacing your money with your attention.
The attention economy model applied broadly.
They also mention that the technology is powered by AI, presumably to enhance efficiency, optimization, and scalability, though the granular specifics of its back-end application remain a fascinating area for future exploration. And critically, we've dissected that very transparent yet incredibly significant no but clause.
The big asterisk.
Exactly. Which tells you that while the features are unlimited and free, you explicitly trade off the traditional guarantees of uptime, data storage, availability, and dedicated support that you would typically expect from paid services.
And beyond just the free software, we've understood Linkspreed's much larger, truly visionary ambition to position TRIVE as the foundational infrastructure for their grand vision of Web4. This is a future internet where users and communities, rather than large centralized corporations, build, own, and control their own online spaces. By democratizing access to all sorts of software from ERPs to AI content generators, TRIVE aims to dramatically lower both the technical and financial barriers for creating these decentralized digital communities, enabling a future where digital power is distributed more widely and digital creation is accessible to all. It's a redefinition of digital power structures.
So think about what this could mean for you personally. Maybe you run a small business and software costs are a constant killer, limiting your growth or stifling your innovation. Maybe you're a freelancer or a developer looking for powerful tools without the hefty subscription fees that eat into your income. Or perhaps you're just intensely interested in what online communities might genuinely look like in a more decentralized, user-owned Web4 future. This model suggests that access to powerful, even enterprise-grade software might no longer depend on your budget, but on your willingness to engage with an attention economy that is now expanding into critical digital tools.
And that leads us to a really interesting, perhaps even provocative, final question for you to ponder. Building on